jars. Balm, which common names are garden balm, sweet balm, lemon balm, honey plant, cure-all, balm mint, and bee balm. And the parts that can be used are the herbs, flowers. The medical properties are that it is a diaphoretic, a carminative, a febrifuge, and a tonic. Can be used as a warm tea of balm. Will produce perspiration. To make the tea, pour 1 pint of boiling water on 1 ounce of the herb. Let stand for 15 minutes. Cool, strain, and then drink freely. Liquid extract can be used 1/4 to 1 teaspoonful. It is very helpful in painful or suppressed menstruation, aids digestion, and is valuable in nausea and vomiting. Useful in low-grade fever, liver, spleen, kidney, and bladder troubles, griping in the bowels, and dysentery. A warm poultice of balm will bring a boil to a head, and then it will break. For insect stings, and rabid dog bites, take the tea internally and make a poultice to apply to the bite or sting. It is good also as a toothache or a headache remedy. Chamomile, Anthemis nobilis, which common names are Roman chamomile, garden chamomile, low chamomile, ground apple, and twig plant. Parts used: flowers. Medical properties: stimulant, bitter, tonic, aromatic, emmenagogue, and, amen, amen, the emmenagogue. Don't know. Anodyne, antispasmodic and stomachic. Description and uses. An old, well-known home remedy that grows freely everywhere, was supposedly dedicated to the sun by the Egyptians because of its curative value in the treatment of ague, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Everyone should gather a bag full of chamomile blossoms, as they are good for many ailments. An excellent general tonic that increases the appetite and is good for dyspepsia and a weak stomach. Used in various parts of the world as a table tea. Good to regulate monthly periods. Splendid for kidneys, spleen, colds, bronchitis, bladder troubles, to expel worms, for ague, dropsy, and jaundice. The tea makes an excellent wash for sore and weak eyes, and also for other open sores and wounds. Used as a poultice for pains and swellings, internment, and typhoid fever. Can be broken up in the early stages with this herb. Good in hysteria and nervous diseases. Made and used as a poultice, it will prevent gangrene. Combined with bittersweet as an ointment for bruises, sprains, calluses, and corns. Do not use during pregnancy. Take 1 capsule twice a day. Take 1 capsule twice daily.
I'm gonna fight 'em all. A 7-nation army couldn't hold me back. They're gonna rip it off, taking their time right behind my back. And I'm talking to myself at night because I can't forget. Back and forth through my mind behind a cigarette. And the message coming from my eyes says, leave it alone. Don't wanna hear about it. Every single one's got a story to tell. Everyone knows about it. Yeah, from the Queen of England.
So, this is a TeaThyme story time about the time I got in trouble for witchcraft. But I want to start this video by weaving in what happened a couple of weeks ago. It may have been last week, I can't remember. My days go. But there was a mass binding ritual that happened on a Friday, and it was to bind Trump and or all those who abet him. And I thought that talking about this during this TeaThyme video would be a good idea because I found out a couple of hours before it actually happened, and I wanted to see how other witches were reacting, because it wasn't a curse, it wasn't a hex, it was a binding ritual, and I just wanted to see how others were reacting to the news about doing a huge mass witch gathering ritual, which in itself was incredible for me as a solitary witch who lives not around witches or anything. Just to see like a big gathering of witches that I've never seen before, and just with the history of witchcraft and like how we dealt with all of the hate way back when, it was just kind of like, wow, that's so cool. But then I started to see or watch other witches on YouTube, and I watched maybe 2, and one was actually sort of positive. She talked about that she was going to do the binding ritual with everybody else, but that she was going to change it up. She was going to change the wording, or like what the ritual was targeting, and I thought that was cool because it showed that you don't have to have the same spell for everyone, that you can change it up and do this and that. And then I saw another witch, and she basically shamed anybody who was doing it, said that it was bad for us to be doing it or whatever. And I was kind of like, okay. And then, since I don't cast magic in this house, or magic like that anyway, I decided to use some older meditation videos that were originally made for telekinetic development, and I just purpose my videos how I see fit. So I posted a couple of videos to a male witch group that I was following, but I got rejected because my hashtag was too political. And I just felt kind of like I was getting in trouble for... I wasn't even doing the ritual like everybody else. I was making it my own. I wasn't... And the ritual in general wasn't to promote... It was by no means an attack on Trump or all those bigots in the White House, but it was to stop them from doing all these, or making all these bad decisions, because, I mean, if you haven't been seeing recently, he tried to do the Muslim ban, the backtrack on transgender rights. So I thought that, yeah, maybe the ritual was actually needed. As long as you're not harming anyone, then I really don't see the big deal about it. Especially like censoring other witches. It just kind of puts a bad feeling in my stomach, especially when it was a mass gathering of witches that a lot of people, especially younger kids, haven't seen before. But that's sad, and I'm going to move on to the story time about the time I got in trouble for witchcraft. So I was in the 7th grade, and I was in a history class. I think we called it GSA, like Global Studies. It wasn't GSA, it was just like Global Studies. We were learning about Mesopotamia and Mayans and the Egyptians. And we were doing work, and we had like separate desks, but they were like put into a group. So there were like 6 people in my area. And this is when I had first got back into like witchcraft and all this and that, and I had a bunch of papers of books of shadows that you could buy, but they were really expensive, and I've always been that kid in class that can do the work and can do completely the opposite of the work and still get the work done. And I was just looking at these papers because I was like, I wonder what kind of book I would get. And I had like maybe a couple of Triangle of Solomon, that kind of stuff within there. And I was kind of like researching stuff. And some of the people at my table had noticed. And I was kind of like, yeah, this is what I kind of believe in. And they wanted me to like do stuff, so I was like half playing around, and I was kind of like, or okay, we can summon the spirits. And looking back on it, I'm pretty proficient at opening, what do you call it? Whatchamacallit, spirit portals, I guess. I've always been proficient at it, even when I wasn't like, I didn't like totally believe in that kind of stuff yet. But one of the people at this table had put up their hand and was like, yeah, it feels colder in here, doesn't it? And I was kind of like, I was skeptical, but I put my hand and it was significantly colder to like air that was like right beside me, and I just thought it may have been I chalked it up to like the air ducts in the classroom because they keep them schools pretty cold. Um, but we did that for a little bit, and then one of the girls at my table got scared, and I was at that moment I was like I kept on going, but I was like, okay, let me get back to doing, or let's get back to doing work, and because obviously this girl was like scared and was, I took a moment to like try to reassure her that nothing bad was gonna happen. Um, it just, it showed me like there was such a big stigma about witchcraft. I was just kind of like trying to um, reassure this person that nothing bad was gonna happen. Like, witchcraft isn't all spooky, devilly, blah blah blah. But what else happened after that? I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was, the bell had rang and we were leaving, and I guess there had been like an argument or something, and I was just kind of like, that's okay, you won't remember it anyway, and just like signaling that there's spells like to make you forget stuff and that kind of stuff, and I was kind of like, and went to my next class, and then my teacher got a call, and she had told me that the assistant principal wanted to see me and that I should bring all my stuff. And I knew exactly what it was going to be about. And so I had all those papers about books of shadow and magical circles and triangles of Solomon. But I also had a little notebook that I was keeping notes in, and I left that in class. I, it's weird, because when I get to this next part, I just kind of like, oh. And so I went to the assistant principal, and I got in there, and she was like, do you know why I called you in here? I was like, not really. And she went on to say that somebody had come to her about the previous period and said that one of the girls had been upset, and so I guess somebody told the assistant principal, and she was like, what did you mean about her, like, forgetting about what had happened? I was like, memory spell. And she was just kind of like, you can tell when somebody is not taking you seriously, and like, I wasn't gonna go home and do a memory spell. I wasn't that advanced in my magical abilities yet, but there I was in the office, and I was kind of like, wow, like, what? And what else did she say? Well, if she was like, well, you can't be going around doing this and that and blah blah blah. And I'm not completely sure, but I think the assistant principal had a cross, and I had seen people bring the Bible to school. I had seen guys wearing their rosaries around their neck, and it had gotten to the point where I could go back to class, and I was like, well, I had given her my papers on books of shadow and magical circles and stuff, and she was looking through it, and she kept it behind her desk, and I got to the point where I could go back to class, and I was like, well, can I have my papers back? And she was like, no. And I was kind of like, why? I didn't mean to make somebody upset. It wasn't like I purposely opened this giant chasm in the spiritual world and let the demon in. I don't know, I just felt like I got in trouble for catering to people's curiosity. And, like, I don't know, I've just been thinking about that since the mass binding ritual because there's such a stigma on witchcraft. And yeah, there's a stigma on witchcraft. And oh, what was I gonna say? Oh, and it reminds me of those times when people act out in class and the whole class gets scolded or punished, and I'm just kind of like, that is not fair at all. You can't punish a mass group of people for a couple of actions of a few witches. Like, not all of us practice Satanism, not all of us practice Wicca, not all of us practice paganism. I mean, there's such a large diversity in the witch community, and I don't know, being in, like, after getting in trouble at school for witchcraft, my parents basically ransacked my room police raid style and made me get rid of all of the witch stuff, I think. I don't know, that was just a really bad year for me. If you want to hear more about that year, then leave me an interest comment and I'll get to it. But yeah, that's my story for today. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you have any ideas that you want to see me do, then leave them in the comments. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Alright, bye guys.